Okay, FPL has finally launched and it's time to make a first draft video. So let's get into it. First off is in the goalkeeper positions, Ramsdale and Tavares. Tavares is just a 4.0 million. Like I picked teams from which I'm not gonna pick in other positions. So Bournemouth is one of them. So Tavares is in as the goalkeeper. He did play some games, but whatever. He's just gonna sit on the bench. Ramsdale is the primary goalkeeper for me since he has good fixtures in the long term. Arsenal have proved twice, 2 seasons in a row, that they're really good defensively as much as their attack. And Ramsdale keeps on getting save points and gets some bonus points as well. So many clean sheets that it's hard to ignore. And with the price he's in, he's gonna be a real asset to own. Plus, it's also frees up my space for other defenders from other teams because there's lots of defenders to choose from this season from other teams like Manchester United, Chelsea, and maybe Newcastle in the long run, and there's plenty more. So Ramsdale just not only secures an Arsenal defensive asset but also makes room for others as well. So that's why I really like him. I think it's very worth it to go for him. Like spend that extra 0.5 to get him because he's gonna be worth it in the long run, and you don't have to rotate, don't have to have a headache with rotating keepers if you go for two 4.5s. Next up in the defense, it's Stupinang, Bayer, Shaw, Trent, Tarkowski. Stupinang, Brighton defense is really good. Brighton fixtures are really good in the long run as well. We've seen Stupinang being so attacking last season that it's scary not to own him. At that price, 5 million, he's a bargain. Stupinang is so good in attack, like he almost sometimes plays as a left winger. He goes so further up the pitch. Brighton got a real great fullback on their hands, and my god, that price is attractive. And with the fixtures as well, it just all adds up to getting him. It just makes sense. And Bayer is there. It's between Bayer or Bale in the 4.0 million defender. I chose the Burnley Bayer because Luton's Bale is on international duty and is involved in the Gold Cup, and it's gonna be quite a while before he comes back. He might not even make it till game week 1 or 2. So, but it won't matter. But I would still get the Burnley defender because Burnley are attacking as well. So why not take a shot at him? The standout pick is Shaw and Trent. Shaw is gonna be, I think he's gonna come in the short term. He's gonna come in really good because of the fixtures. He's very attacking. Hopefully he keeps up his form. He did fell off at the tail end, but I think he was just very tired, that's why. And they also had to play the World Cup, so World Cup fatigue also came into play, but he was still really good in attack. He was getting some goals here and there, and he was also always involved in the assists as well. Shaw was a monster in the fullback areas. With being priced 5.5, I thought it would be 6. I just couldn't miss out on him, so I just spent the extra cash to get him in. The other standout pick is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yes, it's 8 million. FPL has finally pulled the trigger on Trent. They've actually made him 8 million. But the funny thing is, even though they made him 8 million, they made other assets more cheaper so that everyone can still afford everything and make their team look as good as possible. So it doesn't actually matter if he's 8 million now. But still, it just ponders people's minds on whether to get him or not. I think most people will get him because he's that good. And in the last bit of the season, he did catch on and he did improve and got back to his best. He was getting assists in pretty much every game, and for one assist he also got like 2 bonus points sometimes. That's mad because of all the crossing he keeps on spamming on that wing. He might even play on the like inverted fullback, but because of Liverpool signing lots of new midfielders, he might drop back to right back position. But if he doesn't do well, it's gonna be so easy to get rid of him and get another premium defender because he's the highest one. So it's really not a problem. If you have him from the start, you're set in quite nicely, even if he fails. And the other defender is Tarkowski from the 4.5s. It was him, Henry, and Bobman. I chose Tarkowski because Everton are a very defensive side, and I expect Everton to get clean sheets. And yeah, they have a bit of a mixed bag fixture, but Sean Dyche is a defensive manager. He gets clean sheet results like 0-0 or 1-0. Tarkowski also sometimes gets some headed goals as well. So why not like get Tarkowski and have some diversity in there as well. Don't rely on like one team. Don't stack up on one team too much. In the midfield, I got Mitoma, Rashford, Saka, Foden, and Mbeumo. Mitoma, it is like three players in the Brighton midfield that has been twice the same. Mitoma, March, and Gross. I think out of all three of them, Mitoma just stands out way beyond. Like March can be rotational risk, and Gross, we still don't know what position he might be. He might be like rotated along like the positions. Like sometimes he might play as a right back as well, sometimes in the midfield or right wing. We just don't particularly know what his best position will be and what De Zerbi is gonna use him. And for Enciso, I have to see the preseason. Like preseason will matter deeply with this situation. Enciso is a very intriguing option. He can easily play as the number 10 because McAllister has left, so he can fill that role. But Mitoma is like nailed. He's gonna play like the most minutes out of all of them. No one's gonna threaten his position on that left because no one is as good enough as he is. And at 6.5, he could have easily been like 7.5. But since we got him at 6.5, like it's like a gift. Like I just couldn't miss out on him. And on the standard pick, it is Marcus Rashford because the same goes for him. Like he could have been way more. He could have been 9.5 or 10, but we got him as 9 million. And the way he was going on last season after the World Cup, it was mad. He was scoring every game. He couldn't stop. His ownership just kept on rising and rising, and he just kept on scoring and scoring every single match. I think people are like forgetting about him because Bruno is on 8.5 just because he's like cheaper than he's ever been. Not necessarily mean that he's gonna be better than Rashford. He's more of a creator. Bruno, I see him as a better like real life player than a fantasy option. I see Rashford as a fantasy option because he will just provide goals. He'll just give you goals. But Bruno, sometimes he'll give you assists, sometimes one goal here or there, but not as many as Rashford. And sometimes an assist. He mostly gets the assist of the assister kind of thing. But Rashford is so direct, and he's gonna be like going for the golden boot, I think, just because he was on a really good run last season after the World Cup. And next one is beside him is Saka because 8.5. He's on penalties. Odegaard is the same price, but if between them, Saka just beats him easily. And Martinelli is 8, but I'll actually for now pay the extra 0.5 for Saka because he's on penalties and his place won't be threatened. He plays 90 minutes every game. Arteta doesn't sub him off easily. And the other standout pick is Phil Foden because of his price, and not only his price, but we now can actually rely on a Man City midfielder, I think, because a lot of them are leaving. Like Gundogan left, Amaris could be on his way to Saudi Arabia, Bernardo Silva could also be on his way to Saudi Arabia. They did sign Kovacic, but I think Phil Foden will still play. Like Pep, it was reported Pep would use him as the most central role. And in the Champions League final, when De Bruyne got injured, Alvarez didn't come on. It was Phil Foden who occupied his position, and De Bruyne is gonna be out for a couple of weeks in the early parts of the season. So Phil Foden can easily fill that gap. And sometimes he can also go on the left wing. He's so versatile, and also Pep also sometimes benches him for disciplinary reasons, but I don't think he's gonna do it this season because he's gonna be short of players. Maybe he's didn't get Rice, he didn't go for him, and he just had Kovacic lately, and he has an injured Calvin Phillips, and Bernardo Silva could leave, Maris could leave. It's like it seems it could be Phil Foden's year because of the price also. That price is very intriguing. 7.5, and he could play almost every game and also the big matches. Yes, please. And the final midfielder is Mbeumo because of his positioning. He can play as striker if Brentford decide to play him since Ivan Toney left. And since Ivan Toney is gone, he's going to be on penalties. I think he's the first choice. I think we did see him take a penalty when Ivan Toney wasn't around or missed a game or two because of injuries. And Mbeumo always steps up when Ivan Toney is not around. And first game at home to Spurs, and then a couple of green fixtures as well. He could have a really good start. And Brentford are an attacking team as well. And yeah, the Mbeumo at 6.5, you can't go that much wrong, and he could be an out of position player. It's a win-win situation. With the forwards, there's not much to talk about. I picked Sturridge because he's the he had the most minutes played in that 4.5 million bracket I could find right now. He could easily change after pre-season, but I have to see it. That's why pre-season is so important. Next to him is Haaland. I just can't miss out on him. Even if he's 14 million, he's gonna score goals in every match, and he's gonna be very expensive, very highly owned, and everyone's gonna captain him. And the other one is the new player in fantasy football. It's Nkunku. It's like FPL. Maybe he has been priced a little bit lower, but talk about him later. First of all, let's get on Sturridge and Haaland. Sturridge, yeah, he's just there as a fodder. I just really don't care who it is. I just have to say pre-season. And as for Haaland, we all know he scores goals every game. He's gonna be captain in most weeks as well. He's just broken the game. Like, we just have to have him and then build a team around him with some differentials and captain him every week. Even if we don't captain him, he's gonna kill our rank. So, yeah. And in the forward option, there were many options this year. It's all about the midfield. I think we all have to stack up on the midfield because there's so many good options in the midfield. In the forward line, there are some good options like Calvert-Lewin maybe, and some 7.5s, but not many. So it's a tricky situation up front. And Gabriel Jesus is also another one that's really good, but he sometimes just fades away in a match. So I'm not too intrigued by Jesus as many. Let's talk about Nkunku then. Oh man, I love this guy so much. Nkunku has been such an unbelievable asset in UCL fantasy for me. He was a midfielder in that game as well. So I think FPL missed a trick here. His best position is when he plays behind the striker. He's not a striker. He's not a natural number 9. He's a second striker. He's a shadow striker. But he does play through the middle, and Chelsea do need a striker. I think for the short term he might play as a striker, but with Pochettino in charge, I believe he'll bring out the best in him. I just don't see how Nkunku can fail. He can fail since he's new to the league, but it could be a Timo Werner situation. But I don't necessarily see it because he has creativity on his side, and he knows how to stay on side. And there's been a rule change to offside rule that will actually benefit the forwards. So I just think Nkunku could really light it up. First game at home against Liverpool, who isn't set up well defensively, so Chelsea could get a goal and could be Nkunku involved easily. Nkunku is so good. I can't praise enough of his abilities. He's been so solid and consistent throughout. In Bundesliga fantasy as well, he's been really good. So yeah, Nkunku is in for now. Let's see how he rolls in the preseason. And that's about it. And hope you liked the video, and hopefully make you like and subscribe. It really helps me out. It really tells me that my hard work is paying off and keeps me motivated. And I will be trying to put more videos like this. So yeah. Catch you all later.